Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Today we're talking about a classic, one of my favorites, and that is beef tenderloin. We have the holidays right around the corner, and there is nothing better than delicious tenderloin center of the plate. Today we're gonna go through trimming this, seasoning it, getting it on the grill, cooking it, and then we're gonna also show you how to make an amazing horseradish cream sauce, which is going to be delicious to accompany it. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Full beef tenderloin, that is what I have here, still in the cryovac package. This is actually rated a prime. Got this at my local butcher shop. And we're gonna open it up and get started. What I wanna do first off, so this is the tail coming down to the much wider part of the tenderloin here. So here what I wanna do is I wanna get some of this surface fat off, some of this flake fat. So I'm just gonna do that quickly. Had a little bit of red meat hanging out there. You know, once again, if you're somebody, if you make your own sausages, make your own grinds, if you find yourself processing a lot of game meat, always keep this trim behind, especially coming off a tenderloin. You can freeze it, mix it back in with your wild game, or if you're doing your own just straight up domestic grinds. Either way, you don't have to throw this stuff away. You can keep it aside and cut it back into your grinds. So a little bit of this flake fat here, I'm not too worried about. Some of this will render down. It's the real heavy stuff that I'm worried about. We got a big piece there. But then on this other side, we're gonna have a little bit of silver skin that we're gonna wanna get under and get rid of. So just gonna take my knife, work through there, and get that off. You'll notice, and this is literally so tender, some of this silver skin, I'm actually able to take off with my fingers. And if you can do that, feel free to. If we can take that off with our fingers, it's a lot better than our knife because we're not worried about catching a little bit of that good red meat we don't want to get rid of. So, all right, with that being said, I'm going to also come over here and I'm gonna actually take this back part off. So I got the whole loin right here. Because this backside's really it's very thin, so it's gonna wanna dry out really, really quickly before the rest. Little bit here that needs to go. But now what I wanna do is I wanna cut this tenderloin down into what I call Chateaubriand. So it's gonna be about right here. It's where the most uniform parts are. And this is where we wanna get that really, really great center of the plate tenderloin Chateaubriand from. So before I do that, you'll notice here towards the head, as I've been calling it, of the tenderloin, we have another piece here that kind of sticks out. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna remove this piece. I'm gonna cook it separate than the Chateaubriand and the ends. But the ends and this top piece are all gonna cook together. They'll be done a little bit earlier, or you put them on a little bit later. We're gonna put these on a little bit later while the Chateaubriand goes on first. So let's go ahead and get this piece off. And we're gonna come over here and look for our most uniform portion of tenderloin. And for me personally, I think it goes from about here to about here. And so that's where we're gonna cut our end pieces. Another great thing about the end pieces, what happens when you have that relative that likes well, you shouldn't be cooking them tenderloin well done, but it is the holidays. They're gonna want a piece well done. That is perfect for these tails because you can cook them a little bit longer if you like, and run them up to a higher temp. I'm gonna take this off here too. That's taking the whole tail thing a little too far. But that can go in our trim pile. So now we've got our Chateaubriand tenderloin here. Looks beautiful. We've got our end piece. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to get this seasoned up. So what I like to do is take and do a mix of fresh herbs and whiskey benthic rocks. So the fresh herbs, go with fresh herbs. It's the holidays, guys. You know, you don't want to let your family think you don't love them by using dried herbs. The fresh herbs just smell so good, so much more vibrant, gonna bring so much more flavor to this. So I've got chives. I have thyme, because what's the one thing we can never get more in life? More thyme. I have some oregano, parsley, and some chopped up rosemary. So I'm always like your rosemary and things like that, you know, you're getting off the stem, and then I'm chopping it a little bit finer so that we have a little more distribution. So I'm gonna mix up the herbs, and then we're gonna come in with our whiskey benthic rocks. It's gonna be the star of the show. The herbs are gonna be the supporting actor and actresses here today. And we'll get that mixed up well. All right. Maybe just a touch more rocks. All right. And I like that ratio. Looks good. Coming along. All right. So we have this mixed up. If you have followed much of my work or watched many of my videos, you know I always talk about not using a binder on meat. This is one of the few where I take away from that, and I actually do use a binder. So today we're using a little bit of Fresh Vintage Farms almond oil, and this is just enough to help my rub and herbs stick, because I want to have that really delicious herbaceous crust. And I just want to use a little bit of binder to get us there. So that little bit of binder, I'm going to use completely all over this Chateaubriand cut of our tenderloin. All right, so now that I've got that done, I'm just going to take my seasoning concoction here, and we're going to get this baby dressed up nice. We'll give it a little pat in. Never be afraid of the little cutting board dab, because I usually have a little remnants left. And let's get this seasoned up nice. Plenty of good flavors. Fourth side that we've already got a little bit on, we'll just finish it off. Give it one more roll through the cutting board. And there we go. That is one good looking tenderloin there. I'm happy with that. I'm going to take and I'm going to put this in the fridge. Let it sit. I'm going to put it on a clean tray. If you got a cookie cooling sheet, you can put that on the tray and let this sit up in here. Just let it sit in that fridge for about an hour, and you're going to find it's going to make a real nice kind of bark already from the start. And then we're going to go take it and get it on the grill. All right, so we've got our tenderloin rubbed up, sitting in the fridge waiting. And while we do that, we're gonna go ahead and whip up this horseradish cream sauce. By the way, if you wanna kick this up the night before and make it, you can. It's one of those that the longer it sits, the better it tastes. Cream sauce is super, super simple. We've got our sour cream. So that's about 2 cups sour cream, ½ cup mayo. We've got some Dijon mustard. And then we'll mix that up in here. We've got our horseradish. You kind of need that for horseradish cream sauce. So we'll fold that in, and then we got to give it a little more kick with some fresh chive. And we'll whip that up. I'm also, once I get this stirred a little bit, I'm gonna add our whiskey bent, the fix. This recipe originally called for white pepper and salt, but with the fix, you're gonna get that along with some garlic and a couple other secret spices. And so now that we have that, give it a little pinky dab. See, just a little more fix. There we go. Let's try. There it is. That's spot on. So I'm going to cover that with some plastic wrap, get in the fridge, let it sit. All right, guys, time to go throw these on the grill. All right, guys, welcome back. Man, I wish you were here right now. It smells delicious. A little bit of a recap. So with our tenderloin here, we have our small pieces. This one here, the smallest one, I cooked to a medium well, so I can display that to you. These are gonna sit more around medium, and this is gonna be medium rare. So we put these on at 225 super smoke on the Traeger Ironwood 885. Once they hit about 110 degrees, we raised it up to 375. The small pieces were done about 15-20 minutes before the Chateaubriand. So with that being said, let's slice them and try them out. So we have our, always want to make sure we're against the grain, which we are. This is our small piece that we cooked more to that medium to medium well. You'll notice there, perfect medium, looks delicious. So that is a job well done there. And then we'll slice these up. And do the same. This is more in that medium rare to medium. Once again, we're taking these smaller pieces, cooking them just a little bit longer so that we get a little bit of variety depending on our guest. If you got an all medium rare family, feel free to cook everything to medium rare. But sometimes you don't know what your guest needs are, so you want to have a little bit of everything. And then another medium rare to medium. And that is just gorgeous there. Really nice and moist. Love these beef tenderloins. And now we'll come to the Chateaubriand. So this is our nice center cut. We're gonna come in here and just slice this baby out. This is gonna be your center of the plate. It's gonna be amazing. You do this with some oven roasted potatoes, little asparagus. You've got yourself just a great special occasion meal too, birthdays, anniversaries, those kind of things. Save that money, spend it on a good piece of meat, stay in home cook, and turn out a beauty like this. So we're gonna come right back, plate this up, and show you what your holiday spread should look like. All right, guys, here we are. We have our plated tenderloin. Beef tenderloin looks delicious. If you go back and think about it, we got this trimmed up into our Chateaubriand. We took our tail pieces, all those we hit with a little bit of almond oil, and then we did a mix of fresh herbs and the rocks. Got those seasoned up really well. They went to the Traeger Ironwood 885. So there we are, sliced against the grain. Got her plated up. Got our delicious horseradish cream sauce here. Only one thing left to do. Let's see it's up to the challenge. Didn't want to mess up my plating, so Took one from off camera. Absolutely delicious. You get the herbs, you pick up on those, you get the smoke, get a little bit of the garlic and the salt from the rocks, and then with that cream sauce, it cuts through all that richness, adds just a touch of back end heat with the chives and the horseradish, but it goes perfectly with this tenderloin. Don't take my word for it. Get your ass out there and cook it. Till next time, make sure you subscribe to Whiskey Bent BBQ on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on social media, and go out and buy yourself some Whiskey Bent products. Till next time, keep cooking.